Okay, so this one I'd like to address the ladies. And while I don't know everything, I'm not a dating expert, I'm not any of that stuff, no guru, no woman whisperer, or however you want to put it, whatever you want to call it. These are just my humble contributions from the few things that I've seen. While I see a lot of women out, in different places that I'm at, and I'm not in a whole lot of places, so my sample size is small. I will start with that. But while there's a lot of people are out there lonely. They don't have the time to date. They don't know where to look to date. They're getting older in age. They've got kids. They've got work. There's just no time. And so they start just taking attention from anybody. And when I say anybody, it's not just like anybody, but the people they probably wouldn't be all that interested in suddenly become a little more interesting. And what I tell them is stop feeding the strays. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'll say it again. Stop feeding the strays. And when I say the strays, I mean these straggler guys who come around, they're just trying. They're just throwing, a pot of spaghetti against the wall to see how many noodles stick. They're just trying to get something. These are strays. They're scavengers. And it doesn't mean that they're terrible people. It means that they are lonely and getting kind of desperate too. And so they start giving attention to people they probably normally wouldn't have. And then you see people taking attention they normally wouldn't have. And this goes both ways. But the problem that I see mainly is with women, then they don't know how to get rid of, the guy, and which is why I tell them up front, if I see it coming, don't feed the strays. And once I see them giving this attention, stop feeding the strays, because these guys will take things differently a lot of times. And I don't mean that we're all predators or things like that, but you can say good morning to a guy, and if that guy is in the right frame or in the wrong frame of mind, he'll take it a different way, and he'll think that it's more like a come on, sort of thing. So you have to be careful with that energy. Unfortunately, it would be nice if you could just say hello to people, smile, have a brief conversation, and a lot of men will take it that way. Notice I'm saying men versus guys. So the difference between men and males of a legal age, sometimes there's a difference in how they will take and respond to certain things. So that topic is for later. But ladies, you do have to be very, very mindful. And it's only, I say this not to say, you're doing poorly. It's an insider tip. It's me trying to impart a little wisdom. If you're not that interested in that guy, be polite, but keep it very formal, because once it starts to get casual, then it gets a little different. And I've seen a few women at my job, well, not just my job, but jobs. I've seen, just interactions where a guy will continue to try to inject himself where, literally and figuratively inject himself, where he's not wanted. But because there was this energy where it was friendly. And that's unfortunate, because you can't be, always too friendly with certain people. But, man, it's such a mixed bag. It's such a confusing thing to try to give advice on. But what I would say is stop feeding the strays. If if you have a dog that's coming around, or a cat or something, and it's mangy, or it's not what you would have gone and gotten from a shelter or bought from somebody or taken if somebody's giving a free puppy or cat away, don't feed it. If it's something you wouldn't have, partaken in on your own, don't feed it. Because at least if you were to go about that way, doing it organically yourself, that's different. But now you're feeding into something that just showed up on your doorstep rather than you went out and sought it. So I hope this makes sense. The other half is to this is being specific. And there's that old, there's an old Burger King commercial, I believe, and they sang about have it your way, have it your way. And then they go through this whole thing about, you know, special sauce, pickles, lettuce, special orders won't upset us, something like that. And the reason I say that is because you do have to be specific in outlining what you want. But a lot of you got to be realistic. What I just said, it was a Burger King commercial. You can't be specific trying to order filet mignon, pheasant under glass, champagne, and things like that. So it goes to say, yes, while you can aspire to have the six-figure man, 6'2", and all this and that, but if you're not in that, if you're not even in that restaurant, how are you ordering off the menu? That's just, it just is what it is. And you can say the same thing for guys too. Guys, you're trying to get that Instagram model. How in the world are you going to do that if you're not in Saint-Tropez or wherever she's taking these pictures at? It just is what it is. But ladies, stop feeding the strays. And when you are being specific in what you want, you got to have some dose of reality in it. Just saying that a guy doesn't either make enough or he's not tall enough or this or that, that's great. That's fine. But the longer these demands get put in place and aren't met, time is just ticking by. And it doesn't mean you have to settle for the worst of the worst. But there are good people out there that are just waiting to match up. But it takes a moment for somebody to scale down and just say, you know what? Okay, he's not 6'2", but he treats me really well. Or he seems like a really nice guy. Maybe I should get to know him even though he's not pulling up, you know, in a Tesla or a Mercedes or, you know, something along those lines. Sometimes it's just, you know, in the same way, hey, I might be a little overweight. I'm a BBW, but I'm still a good person. Why won't he get to know me? Well, there's these energies we put out back and forth. So sometimes we have to just stop paying that energy forward so it doesn't revisit and pay us back. I guess I can leave it at that. It's pretty simple. Stop feeding the strays. Don't give these guys the attention, because I've seen women who have given the attention. Let me say I've seen females of a legal age give attention to males of a legal age. They grew into womanhood. The guy didn't change, but they wasted so many years dealing with the guy off and on. They had good men. They had good opportunities in their professions and, you know, in other areas of life. And they squandered a lot of it by giving energy, by giving scraps to the strays. Stop doing that. What do we call them? The Pookie and Ray Ray. Kevin Samuels and a few other people have picked up that name as well. Don't deal with these guys. Now, those are probably more of your bottom feeders, but still, even just the guy at work who's a little awkward and you're just not really feeling his vibe. Yes, it's nice that you can sit and kind of, you know, chit-chat casually or whatever, but you really do have to have an air of formality and it not get too personal. Otherwise, that's what happens, and you end up with somebody still sniffing at your heels. And as we know, that can be, you know, rather troublesome sometimes, and it's just not what you want in the end. So be specific when you're talking about what you want. For sure, you want certain things, but also be realistic. I think that's the other part. You do yourself a favor, and you do the people that you would potentially align with a favor as well. And stop feeding the strays. These other guys who will just throw all sorts of attention and praise on you, they can't do really anything for you other than just get praise and sex. It's not where you want to be. And a lot of older women will tell you that if they're honest. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you like the content, if you agree, disagree, leave it there constructively. Let's be respectful to one another. Leave advice, comments, experience. Have an ace up your sleeve and leave it in the comments. I think that's what I'll say. Have an ace up your sleeve. Advice, comments, and experience. Other than that, like, subscribe, notification, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm going to keep saying it. So in the meantime, I hope this finds everybody in good health and spirits. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.
Make it shine. Here we go. It ain't about the jewels, it ain't about the cars, it's all about the heart when it's time. time to put them in the air, put it on your word. Represent your people, let them see ya. Do it like you do, show them the original. Do it like you're supposed to, let them see ya. Own it like a boss, nothing but a thing. Always maintain the